Success in any advertising campaign is judged by getting your audience to do or feel what you want them to. But how do you do that? And are there any special tricks you can use in audio campaigns? We find out in episode 5 of the Trisonic podcast Tripod. That phone number again? I'm Trisonic's co-founder and creative director, Matt Hopper, and I've been creating ads for over 25 years. My guests have too: creative head of BBC Creative, Debbie Dillion, and creative consultant, Kieran Murphy. Let's talk about call to action. As we said, it's no good unless it works, okay, for the client. So how do we make it work? What do we ask them to do? So what point of contact is it best to use in an ad? Phone number, web address, physical address?
I think it's very difficult and problematic to give somebody a long number unless it's very memorable. The same with a website. Postal address? Don't know. Do they have those things? I think you've got to be as simple as straightforward as possible. People are very rare. Well, they don't sit by the radio with a pen and paper making notes of things. Technology is such now that in some situations, smart speakers, that kind of thing, you can rewind and have a listen again. But the best thing to do is get the simplest message you can. So rather than saying 33 Red Lion Street, why not say Red Lion Street next to the fountain or something, whatever is memorable in someone's mind, and rather than having a long list of numbers that they have to remember, sing it. If it's absolutely essential, your phone number is essential, sing it, or make it a really memorable number like 223344. I don't know, something like that. Absolutely, websites. Unless they are very short and memorable. Again, people just don't sit there waiting for the information.
No, and no www, please.
We're way past that.
Well, you think. There's 3 seconds of your ad gone right there.
The internet, I've heard of that.
It's going to be big.
But in terms of physical addresses, some commercials will need a physical address because it's all about driving footfall to a particular store. And, you know, as you rightly say, Debbie, if you're directing someone to a place, do it the way people would do it in the street. How do I find it? Well, it's next to McDonald's down the road on the left.
Totally agree. And yes, you're right. People will, of course, recoil in horror because you are effectively giving McDonald's more airtime. But you know what? Everyone knows McDonald's. You're not doing it. All you're doing is bolstering the name of your product or service by associating it with McDonald's. McDonald's might not be very happy about it, that you're associating your new client with their name. But, you know, play on it. Make the most of that association. If you're next door to McDonald's, go for it.
And it's about making whatever call to action there is, whatever action you're asking them to take, as easy as possible, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Whether that's physical address or web address. Let's get on to web addresses now. You touched on this a moment ago, Debbie. If it's difficult to spell, don't use it, I would say. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, unless one of the big things about it is everybody always has to spell it, and therefore it is a thing that people talk about, and it makes it more memorable. But yes, I would agree. If it's not straightforward, and if you can't, if you give somebody a web address and they spend 3 or 4 efforts trying to find it because it's spelt in a strange way, you're going to lose them. And that's worse than not having them in the first place. You've actually turned them against you. So, yes. Agreed.
So if the objective is to drive traffic to their website, how do you do it?
I think the simplest way is just via the brand name. That's always been my experience, is looking at myself as an end user, as a listener. The first thing that I'm going to do is pick up my phone and type in the name of the client, and then it's going to come up, you know, right away. And then to me, that's always been the storefront that you're leading the client to, is that front page of your website or your social or whatever it is.
The danger of the Google search is that there'll be some people paying to be top of the page when that search phrase is used. So our client may well have a competitor's name above them in the search list, and may well lose out on that contact because of that.
That client is always going to be up against that competition from that competitor. This ad is the chance for the client to stand out against them. So even if the listener is then scrolling past their competitor, they're going, oh no, I want to go to client website because I've just heard that they've got this great offer on, or they align with my values in some way that the other hasn't bothered to do. So I think it falls down to that kind of creative standout, as you put it.
There is one other solution which we have occasionally used, particularly where a client wants to drive traffic to their site, but their URL is either difficult to spell or impossible to describe without using hyphens and stuff. What we will then do is purchase a domain that has some element from the campaign in it. So, for instance, we ran a campaign for a recruitment company, and we bought letstalkjobs.co.uk. Pointed it at their website. Boom, done.
Brilliant.
That's nice. It's really snappy as well. It's really easy to remember. And you just mentioned about Ask Your Smart Speaker as well. That would be a great call to action for Ask Your Smart Speaker to talk about jobs, for instance, and then it takes you straight to what you need to go in your app.
Actionable ads via smart speakers are becoming more and more popular and common now. And they really do work. In the next episode, we look at ad length and word count and ask, how long is long enough? To make sure you get that and future episodes, just follow or subscribe to the show. And if you have time, we'd love you to rate and review us. For more details on all aspects of audio advertising, just visit trisonic.co.uk.